Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Ask Danielle. I'm Brett, your thankful carnivore, my awesome wife, Danielle, Carnivory Art Life on Instagram. And here we go. Question number 1. Has the carnivore diet had an impact on your spiritual life?
I would have to say yes, and this is the way that I started feeling after I started eating this way was I just felt that everything was more right. It's very difficult to explain the feeling that you no longer feel disconnected, and that might sound extreme, but I think most people that I've met, I should say, always express feelings of dissatisfaction, disconnect, a hole in their life. They have to find some sort of hobby, some sort of special career, another person. There's always something missing, and I've even had priests and other people explain, issues about the soul and the divide between, heaven and earth and all this kind of stuff and the two halves. And I just have felt that things were more together and were more right. And that's how I feel that part of this, how people feel, is a mental issue that's brought on by not eating right. And that it sounds like, oh, well, that can't possibly be true. But we know that one's biology and nutrition obviously affects your brain, which is an organ like any other organ in your body. So why wouldn't it be greatly affected, in fact, more affected by what you eat than a muscle or anything else? I mean, your entire well-being, physically and mentally, depends on how well your brain works, and that's whether conscious thought as well as unconscious thought, automated processes, and all that kind of stuff. It has had a profound effect. There was a second half to this question, which was, has it fortified your faith in light of current fears? That is carnivory, that is. I said, well, yeah, because I have ultimate confidence in my immune system, and I'm not the least bit worried about getting sick from COVID-19 or anything else, really, because I feel that I am at my best as far as my body being able to take care of itself and ward off germs, which are ever present. There's going to be worse things coming along than this thing. And so I haven't been the least bit worried, and I feel kind of bad for people out there, people wearing masks outside when they're walking by themselves and it's freaking 90, 95 degrees outside, and they're all suffering and they're overweight and they're unhealthy and they're all hobbling around. And I say, boy, you are really coming at this from the wrong way and making your life so difficult because you don't want to give up your soda or your bread or your cupcakes or whatever, because it's just very sad. Okay.
I did ask Danielle, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you when you ask me.
That's right. That's what we're here for. Okay, this is another question, and you all left us some great questions. What's the difference between low-carb, high-fat Brett and the carnivore version of Brett?
Okay. Well, low-carb, high-fat Brett lost a lot of weight. He walked a lot. He was obviously physically much healthier, but from a mental aspect, from as far as I was concerned, there was not a huge difference. Now, he was able to start getting off various meds at this time, and obviously things like his blood pressure and other things like that, but from my perspective, it was mostly a physical improvement and not much of a mental improvement. I didn't see a lot of that until after he went carnivore, and then there was a very marked difference, a marked behavioral difference in how we interacted and how we communicated and how we got along that didn't really manifest itself before, although I was obviously very pleased that he lost all that weight, because he was very unhealthy physically before low carb, high fat.
Well done. All right, and the last question. We've had puppies before when we were omnivores, carnivores.
We went through two dogs before.
Okay, what is puppy life like? What's it like raising a puppy now as a carnivore?
Well, I don't know how much of a difference. Well, I should say, yes, I do know how much of a difference it's going to make, because our attitude towards what to feed the dog is, of course, completely different. He does not eat dry food, because I have yet to find a dry food that's only made of meat. They substitute pea protein and other legumes for soy and corn and all this other garbage, and there's way too many vegetables in there and not enough meat. It's awful stuff. And so he has been eating canned food so far, but it is the two kinds that have pretty much only meat in there. There's almost no escaping the dang yams, which anyhow, he is going to be transitioning to raw. He right now does eat meaty neck bones, and he has been eating the marrow out of marrow bones, but he has a marked preference for the meaty neck bone. He will keep chewing on that bone even after all the meat is gone off of it. And the recommendation is to give the dogs, especially puppies, non-weight bearing bones for them to chew on. And so it's just changed our attitude about food. And so we feel that this dog is going to have a long and very healthy life. And in light of him being sick with this diarrhea, and he had a lesion on his back from God knows what, so they give you a bunch of medicine. And so while I'm sitting there in the quote-unquote curbside vet service, I'm Googling this, and I'm finding that most of these problems, like yeast infection in their nail beds and all this kind of stuff, can be avoided by feeding them raw or even cooked, but real meat and meaty bones instead of giving them commercial dog food.
His time eating even a trace of garbage is fast.
Yeah, because I'm actually going to make up the first batch today. I've already defrosted a bunch of stuff that I got. I have chicken and some pork and some beef and beef hearts, chicken feet, because they got to have bones, and a puppy needs littler bones to chew on. So he's going to be eating a bunch of chicken feet.
Excellent. Well, listen, that's this week's episode of Ask Danielle. If you have any more questions to ask Danielle, please leave them in the comments. We appreciate so much you all taking time out of your day to listen to us talk about these things and to hear her answers and share her wisdom.
And ignore how tired we look from getting up at 5 a.m. to let a puppy out to go to the bathroom.
You folks have a great day. Keep doing the things you need to do to take care of you. Eat your meat, drink your water, and always remember, you've got something to be thankful for.